Okay, when you're ready.
Baseball is a huge part of our nation and its culture. It is a sport that seems to be the face of the United States sports itself. In the wake of all the national anthem protests, is baseball the most patriotic sport in America affected by it? Hi, my name is Powell, and I would like to discuss with you the effects of national anthem protests on Major League Baseball. So first off, what are national anthem protests? They originated with Colin Kaepernick in the National Football League. This all started in the wake of police brutality against African Americans, and Colin Kaepernick began sitting during the national anthem in protest. He later would turn to kneeling in order to respect our armed forces, as many people saw his sitting as disrespectful. So the NFL saw some issues with this. At first, it gained a lot of controversy. These protests got so much backlash that the attendance during NFL games noticeably dropped on a great amount. These drops in attendance called for the commissioner of football to come out and put a stop to it, so National Football League players could not kneel during the national anthem anymore. They were forced to stand, but they could choose to stay inside the locker room if they chose to do so. This leads me into Major League Baseball. As previously discussed, baseball is very patriotic. Every season, players even dress in military camo to kind of salute our armed forces. But has the sport changed and our players wanting to protest? Well, the rules according to the commissioner of baseball say that there is no rule against it, except it is a big part of baseball itself. So accordingly, it's up to the team itself to make a decision whether players can protest or not. So the viewpoint on the sport itself is that it's kind of America's sport. We can see it in Japan, but it's mostly played in America. It's seen as America's pastime. Nothing is as sure in itself that Americans come around to the baseball community to celebrate pride in their country, to watch baseball. The reality is that players might just be scared to come out and kneel during the national anthem because it might scar their reputation or it might scar the sport itself. Another issue is that the minority groups in baseball have always been a shortage. Baseball has always been predominantly a white sport, especially early on. Now it's kind of changing from that, but it's still pretty much ran by mostly whites. Even though it is a kind of America's sport, there is one exception to the protest. Bruce Maxwell, Oakland Athletics catcher, kneeled during the national anthem at one point. His reasons were not to disrespect the flag or disrespect our armed forces. He said that his reasons were the oppression that the country brings upon him and African Americans. And this was stemmed from several shootings that were arguably unjust. So Maxwell's manager stated that it was completely fine with him whatever happened, but later on he was charged with several felonies and would end up in jail. So he was kind of discredited and he was the only one to really protest. So MLB managers do not care what the players do. It's really up to the players, though. It can bring it could put a bad rap on the whole team itself. This gives the MLB players their decision on what they want to do, and MLB players have spoken out. Most of them saying that they are in support of anyone who wants to protest, even though many of them don't. The league stigma is that this is America's sport, why would we kneel during the national anthem? This has been what we do for a long time. It's always been a part of baseball. So my solution to all this is that baseball really has not been affected by the other sports in their national anthem protest. I've come to the conclusion that this is simply because of Americanization surrounding baseball, and that it really is America's sport, and we can't really have anyone disrespecting it like that. Part of the reason that athletes protest in general is because of disrespect that they see towards their own race. And since baseball is predominantly white, there really is no reason for anyone to protest, especially all of the white Americans in baseball. And the third thing is, there is a great tradition that the national anthem is very important to baseball. That's why there is a rule that the national anthem must be played in every Major League Baseball game. It's traditionally something that all players do. It's always been a part. You can see it even in the earliest games played, even when it wasn't really recorded, there was a national anthem being played. Therefore, baseball really has not been affected by any national anthem protests because players just don't protest at this point. And it's most likely unlikely that they ever will. Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's look at a couple of questions here. How valid and reliable are the sources you used, and how do you know?
Well, I went to sports sources, and it's basically what the managers and the players themselves said. So, and you go to the rule book. I went to the rule book to see what the Football League and Major League Baseball's rules are on them protesting. I went straight to the rule book there, and then if you take direct quotes from actual people in the major leagues, then that's where I got it from.
If you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to the issue?
I would like to not be limited to just baseball and football. I'd like to explore more worldwide sports like soccer and things like that. Baseball is baseball's not really like the main focus of all sports. You know, it's not the most popular either, so I don't think as many people focus on this issue as much as they would somewhere else.
Okay, thank you.